Welcome to my channel. Learn English, live it, and speak with confidence. The Girl He Never Saw. Chapter 1. The Quiet Girl at the Back of the Hall. She always chose the seat at the back of the lecture hall, not because she wanted distance, but because she believed the world preferred her unseen. Her clothes were simple, her notebook worn, and her silence louder than most voices in the room. University for her was not a dream. It was an escape from a life that had taught her to expect nothing. He sat 3 rows ahead, surrounded by laughter, confidence, and the careless comfort of wealth. His watch caught the light when the sun slipped through the tall windows, and his shoes never carried dust. She learned his name without trying. People said it often, as if it mattered. She noticed how he never looked around unless someone called him. When he laughed, it filled the room easily, effortlessly. She wondered what it felt like to exist without apologizing for taking space. She first fell in love with him on a rainy afternoon. He held the door for someone else, smiling in a way that felt gentle. That smile followed her home, stayed with her through the night, and settled quietly in her chest. She never imagined he could notice her. Girls like her learned early how to love silently, safely, without expectation. Loving him became something private, almost sacred. Then she saw her. His girlfriend walked beside him one afternoon, taller, confident, her voice sharp with humor. She was a year older, already sure of herself, already belonging to his world. They matched in ways the girl at the back of the hall never could. From that day on, the girl learned what it meant to want something she was never meant to touch. Chapter 2. Laughter that was never meant for her. Sometimes he spoke to her, not kindly, not cruelly, just lightly, as if she were part of the furniture. A joke about her old phone, a comment about her shoes. The others laughed, and she laughed too, because silence would have exposed her too much. He never knew her laughter cut inward. His girlfriend watched sometimes, smiling politely, never threatened. Why would she be? The poor girl with lowered eyes was not competition. She was invisible. Once, during a group project, he asked her if she always dressed that simply. His tone was amused, careless. She answered softly, yes, and felt something crack quietly inside her. At night, she replayed his words, searching for meanings that were never there. She imagined conversations where he understood her, where he apologized, where he finally saw her. Reality was crueler. Reality was him holding another girl's hand, whispering into her ear while she pretended not to notice. She studied harder, not for success, but to exhaust herself enough to sleep. Dreams were dangerous places. He lived there too vividly. And still she loved him. Without hope, without pride, without choice. Chapter 3. When silence becomes heavy. One evening she overheard them talking about her. Not harshly, worse, lightly, like she was a small, forgettable story. She's strange, his girlfriend said. She's harmless. 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 That word stayed with her for weeks. She stopped sitting in the lecture hall. She stopped lifting her eyes. She stopped expecting kindness. Her love turned into something heavier, something that pressed against her ribs when she breathed. She wrote his name in the margins of her notes, then tore the pages out and threw them away. Even loving him felt like a betrayal to herself. He never noticed her absence. Life continued for him, smooth and bright. For her, days blurred into a single, aching gray. One afternoon, he passed her on campus and nodded as if greeting a stranger. In that moment, she realized she had existed only in her own heart. That realization hurt more than all the laughter combined. She learned that loving someone who never truly sees you is a slow form of disappearance. Chapter 4. The Love That Was Never Spoken. Graduation arrived quietly for her. No celebrations, no photographs, just a degree folded carefully into a cheap folder and a heart that felt far older than her years. She saw him one last time. He was talking about travel, about business, about a future already waiting for him. His girlfriend stood beside him, glowing with certainty. He didn't look back when she walked past. She told herself that time would heal her, that memory would soften, that love would fade. But some loves do not fade, they settle. Years later, she would still think of him in moments of silence, not with hope, but with tenderness. Some love stories are not meant to be returned, they're meant to be survived. She never told him. She never needed to. Her love was never meant to change him, it was meant to change her. And it did. Chapter 5: The Weight of Loving Alone. She learned how to smile without feeling it, how to function while carrying a heart that never truly healed. Love had not destroyed her loudly, it had worn her down quietly. Sometimes she imagined what might have happened if she had spoken. Then she remembered his laughter, his world, his life, and understood that her silence had been her only dignity. She heard one day that he was engaged. The news reached her casually, like everything else about him had. She congratulated the air around her and sat on the edge of her bed until night arrived. There was no dramatic breakdown, just a hollow ache, deep and familiar, settling even further into her chest. She realized then that she had never been part of his story, not even as a mistake. She had been a passing shadow, easily forgotten. That night, she folded away the last memory of him, the way she folded her old clothes, carefully, respectfully, and permanently. She understood something painful but true. Some people are lessons, not destinations. And in the end, her tragedy was not that he never loved her. It was that she loved him so deeply and still learned how to live without him.